What accessories do I use to play Vanguard?
Take a look at who I am now. I was older than ever, and if you ever doubted me, you should have known better.
So a long time ago, when this channel first started out, I made this video already where I just explained the accessories I like to use when playing Vanguard. However, that is a long time ago, and so some things change over time, opinions change, you get some more experience with the various accessories you have access to. And so I figured it was worth it to update this video right now. So as you know, when you play card games, you don't just use the cardboard you got out of a pack or a trial deck and then start playing. Some of these cards are expensive and you want to protect them so that you can actually keep playing with them. I don't think anyone at any major tournament plays without sleeves on their deck. And I think 90% of players probably also use a playmat because, you know, tables can be dirty. Beyond that, it can also be useful to have dice. And of course, you want to bring your deck to the local game store or the regional. Therefore, you need a deck box to put those sleeved cards in. So there's quite some accessories that actually help you play the game. And I figured I'd give you the ones I prefer. If you like other ones, that's great. Like, go out, have fun with them, enjoy them. Everyone's opinion is different. But if you're looking for something new, this video might be ideal for you. Now, the first thing we are gonna discuss is sleeves. Now, I do have to say, I am currently sponsored by Dragonshield, but I do not get money from them. I get products specifically. And in the last video, I think 2 years ago, when I didn't have any sponsorship whatsoever, I already mentioned that I love those sleeves and prefer them above all else. I have tried, I think, 10 different brands and versions of oversleeves, and the only one I truly like is the Dragonshield Matte Standard size. In fact, since that video, I have been contacted by other companies to get free sleeves, and I had to turn them down because I don't want to change which sleeves I use. So the sponsorship really doesn't change my thoughts on these sleeves. I reached out to them because I love those sleeves so much and I'm not getting paid. I just wanted to clear that up. So just like I said back then, my favorite sleeves are the Dragonshield Matte Standard size. Now, standard size is not actually the size Vanguard cards have. Vanguard cards are Japanese size, like Yu-Gi-Oh!, whereas standard size sleeves are for Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. So why do I prefer these then? Well, because there's this thing called oversleeving. This means you put your card in one sleeve and then put another sleeve over that sleeve. This way, your cards are extra protected. See, let's say you have this Vanguard card, a cool blaster javelin from the Shadow Paladin clan, and you put it in this Bushiroad sleeve, by the way, just a Japanese card sleeve. You put it right here. Cool, it's somewhat protected, it won't scratch, awesome, that's what a lot of people do. But then this top right here is still open. If someone were to knock over a drink, even if you then quickly go and you put the drink away again, your card is ruined. Things get in, air gets in, dust particles get in. If your deck box maybe falls over, the card might go out a little bit. You can still damage your card quite easily. And so people who have usually expensive decks or just really like their decks and want to protect them, they will usually oversleeve. So then you have the opening right here and the opening of the new sleeve, and you put them in the other way around. This way, this opening still doesn't actually reach the card. And so when someone knocks over a drink or something, but you quickly pull it away, it's very likely your card will actually be fine if you then quickly re-sleeve and so forth. Now obviously, I'm not saying go drench your card in water and so forth. It will probably be damaged once you go overboard, but it's just one extra layer of protection that I really like. So this is something many people actually do already, whether Dragonshield or Ultra Pro or any kind of sleeve you like, but I just prefer doing this specifically with the Dragonshield ones. Just like I said those years ago, I really preferred their shuffle feel over anything else really. I've tried many brands in the past, I've switched between a few, but once I found these, I just stuck with them, they're amazing. Also, the front is very transparent, so if you have nice cards that are foil, like a triple rare or an origin rare or something like that, you can actually see it very nicely, which is not something you have with some of these other brands. So whenever I sleeve, I literally just take a Japanese size card sleeve. That can be, I mean, any brand. I do have the Japanese size Dragonshield ones, but you just take a Japanese size card sleeve and then put it into one of these Dragonshield standard mats, and then you have this. However, one thing which actually made me start doing this is their clear mats. Because let's say you have this cool Vanguard sleeve right here, you know, the official logo with the green, it can be any color, or just some of your favorite units. You have some Dragonic Overlord sleeves or something like that. If you were to oversleeve this with something like this, then you lose that cool art. So back when I started sleeving with these, I actually used these because they were clear. I would put them in like this, and then I would not only have the benefits of it being double sleeved or over sleeved, but it would also still have the art of the sleeve if I really like that art. Now, some people may say like, oh, just use it without the over sleeve then and you still have the art, and that's true. However, these break very easily. So this is not to talk shit on Bushiroad or anything. It's just that single sleeves usually break very easily, but these in particular, like when I was at Worlds, we actually weren't allowed to oversleeve in the end. We were forced to use a single layer that they gave us, some of these official Bushiroad ones. I think I got the purple ones. They're on my Great Nature right now. And so just shuffling the whole day, people's sleeves split. You were constantly afraid to riffle shuffle because you know you could just damage them. They could split. You would have to call judge, give me new sleeves. Like, Jesus Christ. So you really don't want to single sleeve these. If you love your art sleeves, over sleeve them, because otherwise they're really gonna get damaged pretty quickly if you shuffle properly. Like if you just do pile shuffling, sure they won't be damaged, but you're also not really shuffling. That's a whole other topic. I already made a riffle shuffle video actually, so check that out as well. So that's one really cool thing. If I have art I really like on a sleeve, I use clear matte standard Dragonshields. Now moving on to playmats. I don't think it's a big surprise that I use zero damage gaming playmats. As you can see behind here, and I'll quickly take one out of the bag. These days they ship in these cool zero damage gaming bags, so just some extra protection. So we open it up. And voila. So I really like these, duh. I really just love stitched borders. Now, they also come without stitched borders if you don't like them. There's ones with zones, there's ones with art. Obviously, I just prefer them above all else. The reason I really like stitched borders is because if you have a regular playmat without them, you will notice that the edges will ruffle out over time. And so when you put it in your bag, or even in a mat bag, and you take it out again, and you keep on playing on it, over time they will really wear and it doesn't look all that good. So if you really like your mat, if you really like the art, it's probably ideal to have some borders so that they actually stay healthy for a longer time. So if you want these, link is in the description, zerodamagegaming.com, use the code SAVIOR to get 10% off. And yeah, there's ones with zones, there's ones with art, just cool stuff all around. Man, if someone says this whole episode is advertising, we're talking about products. We're gonna say why products are good, so I'm sorry if that's not what you're looking for. Now, one thing I quickly wanted to mention, which is actually pretty funny. Before I received this from them, I actually bought these Easter Dragonshield sleeves, because look at it. Look how cute it is. It's literally a dragon with Easter bunny sleeves. They're limited edition as well, so by the time you see this video, they may not even be available. But if they are, lucky you. I bought these from my local game store, you know, because I just love this art so much. It's so derpy. Obviously, I didn't want to email them saying, like, give me these sleeves as well. So just bought them. And so now I received this package and they're in there. So now I have 2 sets of these. So that's pretty cool. I really like these. But moving on to deck boxes. This is probably the one thing that actually majorly changed for me since the last time I made this video. Previously, I used Ultra Pro Satin Towers and they're good. I'm not gonna say like, oh, they're shit now. No, they're good. I really like them. However, one thing I dislike about them, and it's probably the one thing I can really fault them for, and the reason I'm changing from them, is the consistency in quality. Now, for example, this one, probably my first one, well, the blue, it was fully blue then, I just swapped the top. But so the blue one was great. It was sturdy all around, it never opened in my bag, loved it. However, as I started buying more of these after the video, you know, at the time of the video I had maybe 3 or something, started buying more, getting more decks and just had to buy new boxes, I started noticing not all of these are created equally. If I take, for example, my silver one, this bottom, if you can hear that, I'll quickly hold it to the camera, is loose as hell. So whilst my first one never had issues, didn't open in my bag, just a good box all around, this one keeps opening in my bag. So I take it out and it just plops open like it's nothing. So if there's dice in here, which there used to be, but not anymore, I take it out of my bag and bam, all the dice are now in my bag and I have to start like searching everything. It's just not a very fun experience. And since these are actually wrapped into plastic when you buy them, you can't actually test whether one will be loose like this or sturdy like the other one, the good one. So apart from that, it's a good box if you get a good one, but sometimes you don't. I think I own like 10 of them, 10-ish. I have to double check, maybe it's like 14. It's somewhere between 10 and 15 at least. And maybe 4 of them have this issue in some shape or form. So I dislike that. I do not want to buy a deck box and then go, whoops, well, guess I can't put dice in this one or risk it opening in my bag. So apart from that issue, great boxes, but for that reason, I am switching. So right now I use this Dragonshield Nest Pluses. These work a bit differently. They have this scaly, rubbery side. I'm not sure what the material is. I guess it feels like a dragon. I think that's a cool way to explain it, or if you're a reptile lover or something. They feel like that a little bit. They're held together by magnets, but they're insanely strong magnets. So I've had deck boxes in the past which work with magnets and then aren't that strong. These are very strong. You want to put some force behind them to open them because of these strong magnets, but that's worth it. I would rather pull a bit harder to open them than having them opening in my bag and then have that whole issue. So you have these rings and then you literally just pop them open by pressing on them. Just like that. The sound effect is a free bonus. And so there are 2 pieces. You can kind of configure them however you want. You could put it in here, you know, during your match. You take your deck out and after you can put it back in. And then here you have an extra slot which you can open for your dice. Now, since this slot is actually closed off when the deck box is closed, it can't ever splash open. Overall, I really like these. They feel very luxurious. Like, when I'm looking at my Great Nature deck right now, it just looks beautiful. Can you see that? Obviously, I still own some of those satin towers, but as I build new decks, they will all be these ones, and so I'll gradually phase them out. Right now, it's just my favorite decks sitting in these ones. There's one more accessory that I don't know if I covered actually last video, because it feels minor until you get really deep into it, and that's dice. So right here, we have my favorite die. It is a 20-sided black one with white numbers. That's not in focus, but you get the idea. The reason I like 20-sided ones is that power can go quite high in Vanguard. So let's say you're playing something like Bermuda Triangle in Standard, or you're playing Great Nature in Premium, or Neo Nectar in Premium. There's just various decks that really get high power buffs. And so if you have to start counting your power with 6-sided dice in those decks, you're gonna have a bad time. Like, just no. There's way too much power gain. And so some people then instead use the 6-sided dice, but say that every single eye is 10,000. So they may use like a 6 and that's 60,000 power. But the problem is then it becomes very annoying to make something like 63,000 power. So I just really like having these big ones to get the correct power gains. However, it is important to note that Bushiroad does not allow you to use these to choose who goes first. So if you use dice, you still want to have a 6-sided one to choose who goes first. I don't know why this is the case. I guess it would be easier to weigh these, since if one side is heavier than the other and these roll more easily because of the amount of sides they have, I guess it's easier to cheat with them. I'm not sure if that's the reason, but basically you still need to have a 6-sided one. I honestly don't know which brand this is. I just know that I like 20-sided dice. And I also think it's pretty hard to talk about quality in these. I don't think they will break. I don't think the paint will chip off that easily. So if someone knows what brand these are, let me know. I'll be sure to put it in the description, but they're pretty cool. Also note that if you're getting these by playing Magic, I don't think you're allowed to use them on a Bushiroad stream either. So make sure that they're not branded from another card game. Obviously, if you're playing in a big tournament and you get on the stream, they can't be promoting other games in their media. That is basically all for today. To quickly TLDR it, Japanese size card sleeves. They can be Dragonshield, they can be Bushiroad if you really like their art. Inside, a standard matte Dragonshield sleeve for that really nice riffle shuffle with strong oversleeves. Inside, these Dragonshield Nest Pluses. They also have smaller ones without the dice compartment, but I really like this one with it. D20 dice, and then on top of a really cool zero damage gaming playmat. If you see me at an event, I will basically always be playing that setup. Unless of course Bushiroad forces me to play something else during the event because of a stream or something like that. But beyond that, it will always be that setup. Those are my favorite products ever. They just feel amazing, they feel comfortable, and they perfectly fit my playstyle. That is all for today. Hope you found this interesting. A cool question to ask is, what is your card gaming setup? You see, just like in gaming where people have their favorite PC builds, they have their favorite mouse, they have their favorite headphone, they have their favorite keyboard, we can do the same, you know. We all have our different tastes, and so it'd be cool to just discuss it. What do you prefer for your mat? What do you prefer for your deck box? What do you prefer for your sleeves? All of those, put it down in the comments, and I will see you soon. Ciao.